Before we get started, I want to first show you a quick video of the after view of a room that I just recently painted, as well as touched up the frame around the window. I also needed to do some repair work, so I removed the hardware. So at some point, you're going to want to make these minor repairs, and all we have to do is go up the ladder, remove the hardware, spackle and patch up with some drywall all-purpose compound, sand it down, paint it, and then we'll be ready to go. But if you've already done this, then let's move on to the next video. All right, so for this next segment, we're going to be talking about what we actually need in order to make that happen. We're going to take that hardware down, and so you're going to need a couple of tools. And depending on the hardware, most of the times it's just screws that you have to undo. So for that, you need a screwdriver. And you're also going to need like spackle, and this is like an all-purpose joint compound that you can use because you're just going to do a little bit of repair work. And most importantly, you're going to need a sander. So when this dries, we're going to go back up there, touch that up, and then we're going to take the color paint that we have and go over that a little bit to cover up those holes, because for the most part, you won't even see it. You just want to make sure that you have repaired, patched, and painted over those areas so that you can reinstall your hardware or move it slightly out to a different spot so that you're not damaging the drywall. And don't forget your ladder, because you're going to need that in order to climb up to do the next segment. It's not going to take a whole lot to get these out, but you don't want to rip them out of the wall. You just want to go as far as you can. And like, for example, this one's just screwing, it's not even moving, so you may be able to jiggle it out. See, you can get it right on out. I don't want you to be too stressed out about the wall at this point, because we're going to go ahead and put a compound in and spackle it. But if you have something that needs to have a weight distributed, and we'll talk about the different hardware in the next segment, I'll show you what you'll have to do if you have window treatments that are going to be a little bit heavier. So once you open the container, give it a little stir, and be sure to completely seal the container after you're finished. So now I'm taking a little bit of the compound and I'm just going into that space and I'm filling it in. So, and then I'm scraping off the extra so that it's not a whole lot to sand off at the end. And I'm trying to fill it in as much as I can to the holes as well, to fill those holes in. You're going to need to do something different if you have larger holes, and I'll do a segment on that. But for now, just for what we're doing, we're going to go ahead and come in here and put a little layer on there, smooth it out as much as you can, and then we'll come back in and we'll put another layer on. Let that dry until we can fill it in till it has like a smooth appearance to it. Different things with the first go around, then you're good to go. If not, you may need to sand it and then apply another coat, sand it again, make sure you clean it off, and then go ahead and apply your paint. It looks like it's ready to go. I'm gonna take and wipe it down a little bit, and then we're gonna paint over it, and we're gonna move forward with the next part of our project. Now that you've completed the sanding and you've taken a damp cloth, be sure you wipe away all of that dust and residue that you'll get from the sanding process. Then it's time to take a little bit of the paint that you have left over from your project and a fresh little sponge. Even if it looks lighter than the paint, not to worry, when it dries, it'll blend in perfectly.